conversations. Every voice matters. Every voice has a story. Welcome to Grand Rising Conversations with John Haynes.
Hello, America, and those of you listening around the world. My name is John Haynes. Welcome to the Grand Rising Conversations, real people with real impact. Today is our first interview, our first series, and I am very pleased to have my very good friend with us today. His name is Vantz Singletary. Welcome, Vantz Singletary, gang.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, Vantz, this is a pleasure, man. It's an extreme pleasure. Now, Vantz is a very good friend of mine. I've been knowing him we've been knowing each other about 20 years or so. I met him in Hawaii when he was coaching the defense of the Hawaii Warrior football team, and we've been friends ever since then. But Vantz is a man that does many things, and he has written a wonderful book. This book is fascinating. It's wonderful. It's called I Am More Than My Name. Everybody that's read this book said they couldn't put it down. I'm going to tell you, I couldn't put the book down. I started reading it, and I know the man. I started reading it, and I just kept reading. I was like, oh, my God, I didn't know. I thought I knew him until I read this book. So, Vantz, tell me, how'd you come up with the name I Am More Than My Name?
Well, I do so many different things from coaching, teaching, mentoring, um, just so many different things, gifts the good Lord has given me. And I say, why not? I'm more than my name. And I bounced it off my wife, my kids, and it just resonated. And I say, well, let's run with it. That's it.
It's a very powerful statement, and this is a very powerful book. And I encourage each of you to purchase the book. There's gonna be a link. There's gonna be basically a name in the statements and down underneath. I'm gonna add it there. You can go there and you can purchase the book. I'm telling you, you will be very, very pleased. You'll be very happy. It tells you a lot about life. So tell me something, Vantz. Your childhood. Talk to me a little bit about your childhood and how you became Vantz Singletary.
Growing up in Sunnyside, I was the oldest of my mother's four kids. And, I have two younger brothers and a younger sister. And, like most siblings do, we get into it. We have our difference. But, we had mom and dad to say, guys, cut that out. That's not how we raised you and that type of deal. But, growing up in Sunnyside was a challenge. And we just wanted to make the most of our opportunities as young people and certainly as a family. Mom was in church. Certainly we had grandparents. That's kind of where it all originated from. My grandfather was a Pentecostal pastor. My mom sung in the gospel choir and was very active singing, and she can sing like nobody's business. But yeah, that was pretty much it in a nutshell.
So you said that growing up where you grew up was a difficult area. Tell the listeners what you had to deal with on a daily basis, like in Sunnyside, and like those of you who do not live in Texas or near Houston, what is Sunnyside?
Sunnyside is the ghettos of it's an urban area of Houston. It's not suburbs, but kind of rough. You can relate it to maybe the what is it, the Watts
Yeah,
in,
that's where I grew up.
Los. Oh yeah, it's rough, and sometimes kids don't believe that when I tell them I'm from this place called Sunnyside. It's a community, but it's a rough community. Didn't have the best of a lot of things. We grew up on low income, all of those things that you're a little shy, you're embarrassed to share with your schoolmates and family, and you just kind of very discreet about a lot of stuff, but just go on as if, life is normal. And yeah, but that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Now, there's one thing about this book that is amazing. Uh, the person that actually wrote the foreword to the book. What is the person's name that wrote the foreword to the book? You tell them.
None other than my Hall of Fame uncle, Mike Singletary. And I had a talk with Mike about it. And he said, Vance, write the book. I think it'd be a great thing to do. I'll help you with it. And, Mike's wrote several books and done an excellent job. So he certainly helped me in that whole sector and trying to get it off the ground and gave me some direction and advice. And I'm grateful for it. Yeah.
Man, that is just wonderful. Your uncle Vance Singletary, I'm sorry, Mike Singletary, Hall of Famer, NFL, famous person, everybody knows him. And I mean, and I like the way Vance just says it, like, hey, it's no big deal. But that is wonderful. Growing up with Mike Singletary as your uncle, how was that? Talk to me about how that was.
Well, I just tried to not do something to screw it up. And I
Mm.
heard my grandfather say that. He shared that with me. I would always go take some time to visit with him about just life in general. And that was one of the things. He said, you know what, Mike has kind of paved the way. He's kind of opened a lot of doors. And you just need to make sure you're not doing anything foolish to go screw that up. Because it's all a lot of times it's about the last name. Your
Hmm.
name, your name is everything.
Yes.
And that's the thing that I'm always sharing with all the young men and young ladies that I run across in my classroom or I'm coaching, teaching, mentoring. Your name means everything. You don't need to get this blown up or in a different dark place because it's hard to restore your name. So that was something that my grandfather hammered home to me.
That is wonderful, and that part is true. You're correct. Your name, we know your name is basically everything, and that makes all the difference in life. So now, tell me about, you know what, man, one thing I want to say about your wonderful family and your beautiful wife. Your family, your wife, we met them. My wife fell in love with your wife. We love your family. Talk to us about your family, the support. Everybody says that, and it is true, right? Right beside a very powerful man or a very successful man, right beside them is a woman that is taking care of all the logistics and stuff. How did Chandra do that? How was she doing that?
Man, by God's grace, she's a very spiritual lady, very passionate about her relationship with Christ. I think that's kind of what keeps things in place with her and I,
Hmm.
just moving forward with our children, with the way we live our lives, how we respect and talk to one another. Uh,
Ah,
we really value that more than anything, and I think that's kind of helped us. And I think if we moved away from that, I don't know how we would have gotten to where we are now. It's been 38 years married, be 39
wow.
coming
That
January,
congratulations.
and it's a lot of work. And when I think about how many years we dated before we got married, it might put it at 42, 43. So, but I knew, I said, achieve the one. And I knew that early on, and God allowed us to get married my junior year in college. And I just knew that's the person I wanted to spend all of my life with
That's
because
yeah.
of what she brought to the table. So I can't say that enough. Yeah.
That is wonderful. There is a definitely closeness with the family, and your children. I mean, everybody's just so loving and caring that we spent a lot of time when you guys were in Vegas. So what what would you want a young athlete to get from the book? reading the book? What would you want them to get from that book, reading the book?
Well, I think that they can overcome anything. It's not how you were raised, it's not how you started, but it's more about, you know, just getting over the hurdles of life. You know, we're all going to have those hurdles that we're going to endure, will encounter, kind of pressing forward. But just trust the process more than anything.
Ah,
It's all about the process more than anything. And I keep coaching that. I keep teaching that. I'm never short of sharing that because it was just something I heard, not just from my uncle, my counselors, my teachers, my pastors, my youth pastors, uh, that it was the process. Are you willing to do the process?
mm.
Yeah, yeah. I want to do the process. It's hot outdoors. It's 105. Well, you you gotta endure. You gotta bring it. You say you want to smoke, let's go.
Ah, I love that. I love that. And that's something I want to talk to you about too. Okay. Winning and losing. Because you're going to do both of them. How do you prepare for winning and losing? Especially you've been in the NFL, man. How do you prepare for that? How do you prepare for one like one game after another, whether you lose, whether you win? How do you prepare for that? How does Mike how does Vance Singletary prepare for that?
Yeah, I don't know if it's preparing for it. I just think you just got to have the right mindset. Win, lose, or draw. You go out and expect to win all the games, but you're not going to win them all. You know, you're not. You certainly the goal is not to lose them all either.
Right.
But I think you go out and you want to give your very best each and every time. And that's the one thing I think we share with the players, or as we're talking as a staff. Guys, we gave it our all. How was the scheme? How was the communication? How was the dialogue? How was the scheme? Did we make the necessary adjustments? As, as long as you know you went out and fought the best that you can, you can or you have, you can live with that. You can go home at night knowing that I did all the necessary procedures. When I go back and I look at Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, especially in college. And then when it's time to go play that game Friday night or Saturday, man, we're ready. You know, if they beat us or whipped our tails, they were just they were just better prepared. They wanted it more than we did. You know, and sometimes one team may win the first half and you might win the second half or vice versa. But who's going to compete for 60 minutes or four quarters? And you can see that, sometimes teams are defeated in pregame. Some teams lose the game in
Mhm.
pregame because of how the other team looks. Some teams come out, man, they're jacked up, they're fired up, and that can intimidate a team. And then some team with all the chatter, all the fire, all the smoke, well, guess what? It's just hype. They're scared, they're nervous. I'm just telling you. It's a mind game. It really is. But if you hone in on what you've been taught and you trust the process and you go out and you're the hammer every single rep and you're not the nail, well, the hammer's going to come out on top
The
every time.
hammer going to win.
Hammer's going to win.
That's a that's a wonderful analogy, man. You know what? As a person that watches games, professional games or college games, I don't think we think about the mindset that people have to go out there and to play that. How do you prepare your team to to go into a competition? What do you like? What do you say to them to get them confidence in order to get, I know each team is different, each player is different, but I guess there's a certain type of atmosphere you have to set. What would talk to me about that process?
A lot of it, in all honesty, is taking care of yourself.
Hmm.
it starts with that first and foremost. I mean, you got to get the right nutrition. You got to be putting the right kind of fluids in you. You got to be training. You got to be stretching. You got to be doing all of the preventative things when you know something's not right. You feel like you're getting a pull in your hamstring. Well, you need to probably go get some stem and ice. You
Mm.
might need to go and do all the little things. Go visit with our trainers. Go talk to those guys and get off your feet. Maybe you don't need to run sprints. Maybe you don't. There's so many different things you can do when you know you want to make sure you're executing whatever those things are. So when you're getting ready to play that game on Friday night, Saturday, or Sunday, whichever night that game is going to be played on, that you go through that checklist, that you check all the boxes. Did I go to bed at night? Did I study my film? How did I do on my quiz that my coach gave me? Did I watch more? Did I not only watch film with my coach, but did I watch it with my teammates? Did I watch it alone? It's those things that you make that investment to be the very best that I can be. Those are the things everybody don't want to do. Everybody don't want to be great. Some want to be average. There's a difference in being average and being great. And most people want to be great. Those are the ones that are in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
They went above and beyond. They wasn't at the mall. They didn't go on a cruise. Those guys, they were doing the little stuff that people don't see. And they're
Hmm.
wondering, man, how did he hit so hard? How does he get up and dunk a ball like that doing a 360 and put it between his legs? They don't understand what that guy's doing when nobody's watching.
Ah.
Yeah.
See that right there is very interesting. I have a granddaughter that plays basketball, and she's going to watch this, and I'm glad that she's going to watch this because it tells her the same thing that I've been saying. It's about what you do off the court. What you do off the court shows up on the court, and that's important. So, tell me one lesson that sports taught you outside of winning and losing.
One thing that it taught me about winning and
Yeah,
losing,
without, well, no, outside of winning and losing, what did it teach you about life? Uh, as far as playing sport, like you know how to play the sport, you know the D line, you know all that, but what did sports teach you about life?
it taught me just perseverance. It's all about perseverance. It's all you don't let all the other outside noise be a distraction.
Mm.
You really don't. I mean, it's all about blocking all that out and not listening to the naysayers. People are going to tell
Uh,
you all type of different things, but if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. So you can listen. You can't listen to all the whispers. You just can't. You just got to know. I know what I have to do, and I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you.
uh,
You take a lot of that and you apply it. You use it as motivation. For me, it was that I didn't want to fail. I wanted to give my very best. When I left high school, I wasn't planning to not go to school on a scholarship and come back home without it. People might say, you know what, he went to this school over here. He's from Sunnyside, and probably was tagged with all kind of stuff. But man, I'm willing to go to class. I'm willing to make the grades. I'm willing to go tackle whoever it is. I don't care who's in the backfield. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna knock your head off. I'm gonna go write this paper. If I got to stay up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna stay up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm not gonna fall short and not get my grades. I'm not gonna go to training. I'm not gonna go to workouts. I'm not gonna not eat correctly because man, there's somebody sitting right behind me waiting to take my job.
uh,
That's really it at the end of the day. I've heard all of this. I've had great conversations with mom, with dad, with grandma, with my aunts, my uncles. I've had too many people fighting the good fight for me. And for me not to listen to that and execute that and follow through, there's something wrong with it.
No, see that's really good, man. I love to hear you speak. And tell me a little bit about your faith, man. What part does that play in not only sports but your life?
I think that plays a vital part. I think it's a huge part of my being. I think about my upbringing. I think about the people that who are Christ centered, passionate about our Lord and Savior. I would be remiss not to say my grandmother and just her walk alone because she was the matriarch of her family. She was
Hmm.
that person that held everybody accountable. She was the person when we were probably doing all the different crazy things, talking crazy, attacking each other. She was that person. No, no, no. She's gonna give you a scripture, and that ain't my Lord. That ain't my Lord and Savior.
Right.
And you're trying to get in the pearly gates of heaven. That ain't it. That ain't the way you go
Ain't the
about
way
doing
you
that.
get there, right?
Yeah. And I needed to hear that. I needed to see that. And she spoke volumes to how she read that word. She would probably take 20 different colors of ink and as highlighters going through the Bible. There was yellow, green, blue, purple, you name it, that that she studied over and over. I mean, daily. I mean, 7 days a week, year round, 365 days. Didn't miss one beat. And
That
that's who I saw do that a little bit when I was just a little boy at home. I think the other ones did it. They read it and they went to church, but just consistency. They should put her picture in the dictionary. Uh, when you talk about consistency, when it comes to the word and studying it and walking it, that was her. That was Big Mom.
and that's man, that's heartfelt and in your I just can't. I like listening to you, man. I because the way you talk and you have such passion and the stories you tell, I mean, they resonate with just about everybody, man. Let me ask you a question. How do you what do you do to a young person to recover from experiences or failures or disappointment? Things that we don't know and people that like you that coach young people not only in football but you also coach other sports too. How do you what do you do to get them from a disappointment or what they consider a failure to to proceed or to continue with life?
You had a pretty long question.
I'm sorry, man.
No,
Okay,
you
how
good.
do
I
you
just want
no, my bad. How do you get a young person to recover from a failure or from a disappointment?
I think the biggest thing, uh, they just want to be heard more than anything. And you have to sit there and just really be a sponge. And they need to know that you're listening. They need to know that you care. And I think if you apply those things, man, listen, they'll tell you the world. They're gonna share it all, and so I think that's really been my thing, whether it's high school, college, and even in the National Football League. Those players just want to be heard. It don't matter what stage, whether it's Division 3, 4, 5, junior college, middle school. It's one common denominator: just listening and letting them know that you care. And then now they're open to whatever you want to share with them. Man, they're gonna accept it. They're gonna take it, and they'll keep coming back because they love it. If you coach, and I get that a lot. I've been in places where coaches can't really talk to their room or talk to their groups. And
Hmm.
they're asking me, can I come talk with them? So I'm like, wow, man, that's amazing because the word spreads. The people in the building know who's who. I had
Hmm.
one thing happen to me when I was coaching with the 49ers, San Francisco, it is. I had a coach on the staff. He says, well, Vance, I don't know if you noticed this, but I want to share this with you. You're a young guy. You're a rookie coach. This is your first year in the NFL. And this guy's been at LSU for maybe 15 years, long time guru, football coach, been in the league for about 15 years, well respected. So he says, Coach, I don't know if you noticed this, but many of your players call you coach. They don't say Vance. They say coach. You know why they say coach? They respect you. They know you know what you're talking about. And I sit there like startled. I'm like, wow, really? I hadn't. He said, just pay attention to it and tell me. Just pick up on it. Every time I watch him, whatever you got him doing things, or you're training them, they say, Coach, is that what you want, Coach? Is that what you're talking about? And I thought, wow, they do that. And then he said, just look around and see some of the players that call their coaches by their first name. And I saw that too. And I'm like, wow, wow. And then it's to myself, I'm like, wow, man, that's pretty cool. I like that. But for him to share that with me and bring that to my, and now mind you, these guys are some of the greatest players in the world. And here I am, my first year coaching for the San Francisco 49ers because they knew what I was sharing and how I related to them. I knew it wasn't about nepotism, me being there because of my uncle being the head football coach. They knew I've been a lot of different places, a lot of other different colleges. I knew my stuff. Needed to be given an opportunity to go out there and teach and train, just like any other coach, on the staff. And they saw that.
That's now. I remember when I don't know whether you called me or whether I heard Vance is going to the San Francisco 49ers. I ran through the house. I'm going, Vance is going to 49ers. I'm a 49er fan. I'm a Raider fan, okay? I'm a 49er fan now. Well, give me some, I need to get some 49er stuff. And we watched the games. Explain to me, man. I, I couldn't fathom it. Explain to me you going into the 49ers, and there's a picture that you have, and I hope you put it on the website, and you're intense, and you're talking to this D lineman, and I'm thinking these guys are, they're professional football players, and Vance is like telling them what to do. How does that feel, man?
They accept it. They want coaching. They want an edge. They want to know, is there something that I'm not doing? What did you see, coach? Can you tell me this? As far as the down and distance, whether it's the formation, whether it's how I was, attacking my work. They want all the correction that because they want to be great. Like I say, they're not out there trying to be average. They want to
Mm-hmm.
make the most of their opportunities when they're out there. They don't want to be wasting reps. They will listen. They know, and I had that opportunity. It's a Monday night game, and we've covered this particular play over and over in practice. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, it's Monday night. We're on the biggest stage in the world. That ain't it. We didn't practice for like that. You gotta trust me on that. I'm not trying to show you up. I'm not trying to embarrass you, but I just kind of know, hey, this is where you're supposed to be. This is your assignment. If you're supposed to be on this side and that running back is cheating outside that offensive tackle, I'm going through the progressions again. And when you get to that level, man, they you can go back and watch the play live. You got to wait to get in the film room
Wow.
after the game. Oh, it's a whole another level, and I love that, because I can look even in college. I can look at that big jumbo screen and just and play back. Well, coach, how did you know that? Well, what do you mean? I'm looking at the screen. I'm watching the screen. Of course, I got my headsets on, and it's telling me. They're telling me what's going on. I got that, and plus my own eyes. My eyes don't lie. The
There you
eyes
go.
in the sky does not lie. I'm just telling you, they're giving it to us all different angles. End zone, wide, tight. Here's what happened. Now I'm just being honest. I'm not out there just blowing smoke. And you
Man,
have to know that. You got to know that, man. You've been doing it for so long. Sometimes it's amazing how games go on for 4 quarters and corrections are not made. And you're like, well, wait a minute. How is this happening? My grandmother can tell them that. She know the game.
I thought about that a lot with the Raiders, when I watched them. So tell me something, man. What is one of the most rewarding moments that you've experienced as a coach or a mentor?
One of the most rewarding
Yeah,
moments.
one of the things that made you feel the best out of being a coach or a mentor. One of the best things that's happened to you.
I think more than anything, for a young man to say, Coach, I love you. I appreciate what you do. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for working with me. Thank you for believing in me. Those things are not said often. They're really
hmm
not. It
hmm
takes a lot for a person, a young man, to echo that. Because a lot of times they might find it as being soft, or I said, no, man, it's not. And I'll let them know it's okay. And sometimes you might get a little emotional. Well, guess what? I'm an emotional person too. Sometimes if I'm telling a story, every once in a while, man, I just wear my emotions on my sleeve many times, and I'm
hmm
letting them know, man, hey, it's okay, man. If you shed a tear, you get a little, that's okay. We're humans, and you got to let them know that. And so I think more than anything, I think it's just letting them know, or they sharing with you how grateful they are for your support. Because I just want to let them know I'm there. I'm not your dad, but man, I want to act as a father figure, a surrogate father, or whatever that might be. I love you just like you my very own. It's important that you tell them that, and there's nothing wrong with that. And once you do that, the coaches are like, "Oh, what are you saying to this guy or these kids? They'll fight. They'll fight for you. They believe in you." Well, it's bringing them to my house. It's introducing them to my family. It's they getting to see a person outside of the football field. Even at the hotels we travel, we get on the plane. Those conversations are going on.
hmm
We're developing a bond. How are your parents? And many of them might have kids. How are your kids? My
hmm
wife may go get them a gift. Oh, it's such and such birthday. This is what Vance and I want to do for her or him. Tell your mom and dad we said hello. You know, all of that really matter. Many times our kids they can't go home for the holidays. They too far away from home. It's too expensive. Well, guess what, guys? Thanksgiving, because we're here practicing for postseason play, or we have a game. We're opening our home for Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever the occasion might be. So they're there. We're cooking for them. If they got to go to the doctor office, many times I'm on the road recruiting or traveling, flying somewhere else. Well, my wife, man, she's like a coach herself. She go get them. She pick them up. They coming into the airport, or it's a family thing for us. So
hmm
any recruiting dinner engagement where there's parents. Well, I want my wife there. I want them to not only know me, but you can get to know my wife as well. This is what we do. These are the other families that we've met. We still are engaged with. We become lifelong connected. And those families can speak for us because they know us.
hmm
All of that, and I wouldn't do it no other way. If I had to do it all, I'd do it the same way.
I have had the pleasure of being at your home when the in Hawaii when the football team came there for holiday meals, and your wife is an excellent cook and she's made some wonderful meals, and they respect her as they respect you, and I thought that was amazing. I was watching the interaction between the players and your family. I think that's just that's absolutely phenomenal. Um, one more question. I have a couple, well, I have a lot of questions, but you mentioned being in the NFL in the headset. What do they say? Not just in the NFL. What are they saying in those headsets, man? What I mean, I don't know. What are they saying? What are they talking? I mean, who's talking to you?
Well, it's just the communication with the whoever those coordinators are, whether it's an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. There's not a whole lot of conversations. It's just information we need as far as personnel groupings, who's coming in the game, who's coming out, down in distance, something that we might have missed or we don't have a bird's eye view to see from ground level. They can give it to us from the top. And
Okay.
then they got different machines up there that can tell them a little bit more about a certain play. They got more layouts as far as drawings and pictures, and man, we use all of that, to try to out scheme or better scheme the opponent. They might be in a certain formation, and we didn't see this or we never saw this, but you got a number of coaches up there that can help assist you with that type of stuff. So when we get down at halftime, we go in the locker room. Now we're able to all come together, whether it's offense, defense, special teams, and have a discussion and say, guys, here's kind of what here's some things we need to alter or change to help to win or do a better job the second half of the game. And it's no more than that.
Okay.
That's all because when it gets too much, man, somebody's gonna say, guys, it's too much of the wrong kind of talking. We need to be still locked in on what is going on throughout the game. Yeah, and then you want to steer away from saying, man, I wouldn't have called that. Man, why did he call that? You got
Oh
that ain't
no,
good.
no.
No, I'm just telling you now, I've been on a lot of different
Oh
staffs,
man.
and it's interesting. You got to stay positive. You got to say, because for me, I've always kind of emphasized to our kids and our coaches, depending on what my role was. Hey, guys, that's not, if he throws an interception, guess what? We're going out there, we're going to stone him. We're going to get the ball back to our offense. That's got to be your thought process. You can't say that other stuff because you lose teammates, coaches. That's never good. We're not fans. We're all in this together, and we're trying to win. We got to stay together, regardless of what the score is, what's going on, all of that stuff. So I thank God for all of those things. I've had a chance to kind of be a part of that and know that.
Yeah, you've had a phenomenal. I mean, you guys, you have to read the book. I have to say, the name of the book again is "I Am More Than My Name." I mean, it tells you about the beginning all the way through what he's talking about now, what Vance is talking about now, playing with the NFL. It tells you about his college years. It tells you about his home life. It gets personal. It tells you about a lot of personal things. What was one of the hardest things you had to write about in the book, Vance?
Whew. Mm, I would probably say the losing my oldest daughter
Yeah.
to COVID.
Yeah.
I think that was the one that just kind of hit you dead on. How do you talk about that? How do you share those moments? What she meant to us, how much we miss her. Out of all the things, there's not a day that goes by that we don't think about Courtney. Courtney was our oldest daughter.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, man. But I know at the end of the day, uh, God doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah.
You
It was
know,
that part of the book was very emotional. I knew Courtney, and that part, and my daughters knew her, Courtney. That part it was emotional for me, and so I know it had to be emotional for you. And then it tells about the universities that the Christian universities that you coached for. How was the transition from NFL to college?
from the NFL to,
Yeah, how
I
did you
thought
feel?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I, I,
How-
I don't I don't know if it was a major transition coming from the NFL back to college, or even vice versa. I just believe that it it I most coaches don't enjoy recruiting.
Mm.
You gotta really enjoy recruiting. Most guys leave college because they don't want to recruit. They go to the NFL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a big study there. I enjoy recruiting. I love people. I love interacting. I love going into the homes. I love going to the schools. I love developing those relationships. I don't think that ever really got old for me. Some guys just want to be all football, where it just, it's no recruiting, for them. NFL is just straight developing players, getting the best players, studying, and you're just football, football, football. Of course, you get a chance to go scout them and train them. They'll fly out to the Indianapolis every year for the combines
Mhm.
and be on that stage there. And, as they're getting ready for the April draft every year. I enjoyed that part too, going out to the Senior Bowl and looking at some of the best players in the world.
Mhm.
When they put you on that plane, I go down to Alabama, LSU, Georgia, even all the HBCUs, Prairie View, Texas Southern. I mean, I don't been in all those various campuses to train and interview guys, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. Now, for my wife, when we got to the NFL, uh, my wife missed the college landscape,
Mhm.
of having players that are home. When we got to the NFL, it was slightly a little different because we didn't have many times where our players in college was taking us to Ruth Chris and some of these other fancy restaurants. Well, that's some of the things they did for us. These
Mhm.
guys make millions of dollars on top of millions. And the gifts we got during, Christmas holidays, I'm like, huh? What? I mean, it was just different. And I
Mhm.
felt like my wife was just slightly a little depressed sometimes because she really enjoyed those college kids and what we can do for them, especially the kids are a little short on this and that and transportation, getting home, having food to eat. My wife would fix more than she needed because she wanted to make sure they all had styrofoams they can take home, extra
Mhm.
cookies, all kind of drinks, and I said, baby, who are you cooking for, an army or something? I mean, it was just so much food. But a lot of times the schools gave us a budget for those things. Where it wasn't like we were just spending all of our own funds to
Mhm.
there was a budget to put pictures up on our walls and take them out to dinner. I would take the whole, whether I had linebackers or defensive line, and that still goes on. I try to
Mhm.
stay as plugged in to all the coaches I've met and talked to, and that's just kind of part of it. But a lot of it, at the end of the day, is all about relationships.
That's important. That is good. So, okay, so we talked about the book and we know that the book is excellent. You guys, again, where you can get the book is going to be in the comments down below. I'm going to put directions on how to get the book. So, what's next for Vance Singletary? What is next, Vance? What's your next project, your next big move?
I enjoy coaching, but I also enjoy the administrative side of it. You know, I'm enjoying some of the other aspects as because I like still player development. Who knows? I might even look at being an athletic director.
Ah,
I enjoy those. I spend time with them, visiting with them, talking with them. I just want to be in a place. It's not so much the X's and O's. If I can be in a role, even now, just being the head coach at Northern Christian, it's just one of those things. I'm enjoying that because, I got all the various coordinators. I got a defensive coordinator. I got an offensive coordinator. I got a special teams coordinator. I got a special assistant to the coach. I got a head doctor who's over our medical of our players, and then working with the head of school. I'm working with the principal. I'm working with it's fun just to go to some of those department meetings and talk about our school and our enrollment, fundraising. It's just I just light up like a tree because it's all fun. I'm learning some other things, to kind of let people not to micromanage, but let them do what they do. For so many years, I tried to be the best linebacker coach. I wanted to be the best defensive line coach, or I wanted to be the best coordinator. So I can see it, and I can just step back and just watch them and let them. And I think they value that. It's not that I don't trust them. Oh, I just want to implement something. I just want to share something. And then the kids, I'm able to step back and just kind of watch the whole thing. Sometimes I can look at them as they're listening to their coaches, and I know I can just see in their spirits, their eyes, their body language. And I'm able to say, okay, time out. Hey guys, come on up. Let me talk to you. I'm talking with them about things that everybody can't really see what every group is doing. So I can highlight some things and say, hey, listen, guys, that ain't it. Here's what coaches are trying to do. We've already talked about this. We're not out here fighting with one another. Here's what we're trying to get accomplished. Here's the one common denominator. And I think if you go through that, oh man, they'll like I said, they'll run through a brick wall. And even the coaches, they'll buy in. They'll do it.
Now, you said something that I would like to emphasize. You were the head coach of Northern Christian University?
High school.
High school. Northern Christian High School. You're the head coach.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is
Um,
amazing.
by the grace of God, I'm excited just to build something, change something, shed more, you know, life in on the situation. Pressing forward, it's a great opportunity. I love the people over there making the most of it, and it's been fun thus far. It's only been maybe 2 months that I've been over there working and putting things in place and gaining the support of so many people. But it's been great. It's been outstanding.
Being a head coach is a wonderful, and you're building a program for what I understand, which is excellent, man. I think they're receiving a wonderful gift and having you as a head coach. That is because of all the knowledge that you have and the passion that you have for the not only the game, but the passion that you have for the players. That's what actually amazes me when I think of you. I think of the word authentic, and I think that's what amazes me, man. Um, what do you see? What would you want a person to take away from this interview? What would you want if you had to talk to a young kid, that was just starting out? What would you say to them?
Again, it goes back, John, to the process. Am I willing to continue to put my best foot forward? And the people that are mentoring me, um, working with me, all of those things, they're pouring into me. I gotta really trust what they're telling me. And I think a lot of times people are afraid, young men and young women are afraid to let the guards down and let people in. And
Mm.
you gotta be able to let people in. And again, it just stems all the way back to the process, the training, the getting up in the morning, the regiment of stretching, eating the right foods. It's 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 all laid out, man. Just how your body is like a machine. What you're eating, what time you get to bed, what time you get up, who you're entertaining your day with.
Mm.
The people of it's so many of those things, and I keep saying that. Who are you spending all this time with? Many times I found myself, they called me the love doctor when I was at Liberty. I used to bring my players in, but also would invite their girlfriends too. And I would have a little conversation about them because their girlfriends and myself were in competition over my player. And I said,
Oh,
yeah. So
okay.
we have that, and I said, well, wait a minute, ma'am, let me just share something. Here's where he's at. He's not doing too well, and he may not come out of this smelling like a rose. Do you know he's fell in this course, in that course? And if we stay on this track, he's going to be back home. And like most anyone would do, if he's gone, you're probably going to move on to the next guy. I'm just,
Mm.
and you have to have those kind of conversations. And so she's smart enough to say, I like your coach. He really cares for you. He's not trying to run you out of here. He's not trying to hurt you. Because our coaches do the same thing in basketball, volleyball, track. And if we're not, doing our parts, we can very easily be asked to leave. And,
Mm.
and and so now it becomes real. It becomes
Yeah.
and that conversation is not being taken place all the time. And I'm just being sensitive because I want you to stay around. I'm praying for you. I'm talking with your family, but I need you all in. I don't need you with one foot in, and then that's not good. One foot in, the other foot on the banana peel. That's scary. Yeah.
Again, guys, the name of the book is I'm More Than My Name. It's an excellent book. You got to pick it up. You just got to pick it up. If you have a young athlete that you're training, or a young athlete that's your granddaughter, or son or daughter, you want this book. Believe me, you want this book. It's an easy read, but it's gonna show you Vance's life and how where you can. There's no excuses where you come from and where you can be, where you can actually be. You can come from Houston, from not a great place, to the NFL, right? And then you can go from there into being a head coach. I mean, this is just wonderful. Is there anything you like to say, Vance? Anything you like to say to the audience?
No, I would enjoy the book. It's a great read. Like I say, I'm blessed to have had my uncle to push me along with Dr. Milton, the guy who helped publish the book. It's a very reasonable book. It's what, 1999.
Plus
Is
shipping and handling. Yeah, yeah.
shipping and handling and all of those things. And the QR code is, there, John, a half for you to
It'll be
go on.
there.
Will be there and they'll ship that thing out to you. Um,
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's a great. I'm already thinking about book number 2.
And that would be great. I would love for you to do it. We're gonna do okay, commit right now. When you do book number 2, you'll be here interviewing with us again. That would be
Absolutely,
wonderful. That would be
absolutely.
wonderful. All right, guys, listen. This was our first interview, and it's one of my best friends. One of the guys I love. This guy, I love his family. He's authentic. You go and get the book, right? And that's all I got to say to you guys. Thank you very much for spending time with us and learning a little bit about Vantz Singletary. And thank you very much. And you'll hear more from us as his career advances. And book number 2, you heard it here first. When he does book number 2, he'll be right here again. All right, guys. Thank you very much. And we will talk with you soon.
Every voice matters.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. God bless you.
Been my pleasure. God bless you too, man. Been my pleasure.
With John Hayes.